Welcome to the very first episode of Skinny Nerd Developers. We are your hosts. I am Ignacio.
And I am Josh.
And we started this podcast because all we do is argue with each other.
Every day.
And then I think it's going to be funny to start this podcast. So here we are. Okay, so So Skinny Nerds, how did we start the Skinny Nerd name?
Skinny Nerds. Well, that's come from you. I can't explain better than you.
So this one streamer, he made fun of like Fortnite developers, and he was like, all these Skinny Nerd developers from North Carolina. So now and then I just kept saying it because I'm an idiot. So now we're the Skinny Nerd developers because we couldn't think of anything else to do it. But
we're not creative enough.
And also, yeah, right.
So basically what we're going to do here in this podcast, or video podcast in better terms, is basically just talk about our topics and our opinions on controversial topics such as fandoms, nerd stuff, gaming, movies, or anything that him and I just don't disagree on at all, which is everything.
And then...
And then what?
Well, we're going to talk about how nostalgia
is absolute garbage at this point in time.
Well, if you're nostalgic for something, that doesn't make it good. Because, for example, I love Dragon Ball. I grew up with Dragon Ball. But I can look at it and be like, that's kind of garbage sometimes. I can look at it, critique it, take off my nostalgia goggles. And yeah.
I mean, you do the same thing with everything. I mean, Star Wars is a great fucking franchise at some points, but also at the same time, after you get over the nostalgia, you're like, ah, shit, I'm gonna nitpick the fuck out of this. And then you're looking at it and like, this is kind of trash. It's not that good of a movie.
Well, technically, they're mostly not good movies.
Well, no.
Okay, let's look at all the Star Wars one by one. We'll do episode 1 first. Should we do the New Hope first?
Well, if you want to go for the New Hope, I mean, New Hope is just, for a time, it was, when did it come out? Like 70s, 60s? Around there? I don't even know.
I think it was late 70s?
Probably. But for the time, it was something great. I mean, you had... You had these great props. You had this great story. I mean, thanks to the actors. I mean, George kind of butchered the shit out of that.
Well, it was good for its time.
Yeah, it was good for its time. And I mean,
there goes the nostalgia again.
Yeah. So I mean, back in like the 70s or 80s, I mean, Star Wars was probably the kick of everything. It has a new world that we're building. George did a great job with that. He built a world that's just amazing to begin with. But then, I mean, after a while, the New Hope, great movie. Empire Strikes Back, probably one of the best. Return of the Jedi, kind of fall action right there.
Okay. A New Hope is good, but if you look at it at 2020, it's not that
It's not that good anymore. I mean, it's more just there.
And then Empire Strikes Back is like...
It's one
what
of the
most people say is like the number one.
Next to Revenge of the Sith.
But then I also got to look at Revenge of the Sith.
We'll do that later. But
okay. A New Hope is good, especially if you look at during the time. But what we got to look at now is in 2020, if somebody's seen it for the first time. I saw it for the first time, like not even like a year ago. It was probably like 6 months ago now.
Yeah.
He's seen it as a kid, so this is a good example. Now I can appreciate it for what it is, and I can take what the movie is and put it in the perspective of when it came out. Okay, like this expanded universe and everything was never really a thing back then, and that's what started it. But now we're in 2020. It was 2019 probably at the time.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously there's like a lot of things that are expanded universe. It's not just Star Wars anymore. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, like with the whole like Obi-Wan, I know, like, but like again, we got to look at it from now. Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, their fight. Okay, he's like Jedi Master and Darth Sith Lord, whatever. And
there's no backstory in that either. I mean, you just see two guys fighting each other, and you're just like, oh, that's Darth Vader. He's some evil guy, and here's Obi-Wan.
No, because Luke said that you fought in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but in the Clone Wars, is just back in the day, back in when it came out, the Clone Wars is just a name. No, we didn't know what the Clone Wars was until what, 2000?
Yeah, but Obi-Wan's still supposed to be like this wise master type of thing. And like super strong and whatever. Okay, and then Empire Strikes Back. Honestly, you can't really say too much bad about that one. You can say a lot of bad things about it.
I mean, to a point. I mean, it just depends on what you nitpick about it.
And in Return of the Jedi, I have a very big issue with the Return of the Jedi because 33% of that movie is with what are they? The
Ewoks.
The Ewoks.
Those Ewoks were just there for toys.
Yeah, exactly. That's Ewoks. Okay, and then that's the original trilogy. Now let's go to the prequels.
The prequels is all politics.
Episode 1. Jar Jar Binks.
I feel bad for the actor.
And then all the stale voice acting, and then
I mean, you have some big names. I mean, you have
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, which is probably was like one thing. It's like, oh, cool, we have Liam Neeson in this, and then you have Ewan McGregor. I mean, Ewan McGregor probably not so known at that point in time. It was what 2000, right, when it came out.
99.
99.
If I remember correctly.
So I mean, I think Ewan did probably Moulin Rouge and probably some great movies beforehand, but I mean, still.
Yeah, but then like the dialogue is just
Yeah, dialogue is always going to
bad.
be trash.
That's because George is too.
He's too prideful. He's not going to let anyone touch his masterpiece.
The good thing about that movie is the fight with Darth Maul. Everything else is kind of bad. Okay, and then Attack of the Clones, I absolutely hate.
First of all, you were drunk for Attack of the Clones. I don't think you have any justice to say it was
Yes,
bad.
I can.
That's like me saying that Godzilla, Sea of Monsters was bad when I was just gone the whole entire time. I don't remember one bit of it.
I can tell you everything that happened in that movie, including the talk between Obi-Wan and Count Dooku.
Yeah, I had to tell you to pay attention to that. You didn't pay attention the first time. I was just like, hey man, you just missed a very important scene.
It starts off with Anakin being creepy against Padme, and then you got that bad Padme scene where she's like going through the freaking factory, and then Anakin also goes through the factory, and then they're in the Colosseum, and then freaking Mace Windu chops off Boba Fett's dad's head off.
Jango.
Whatever. Worthless. Oh, that's another thing. Boba Fett is worthless. Everybody always... Before I watched Star Wars, I would have... Oh, look at my fan picture I made of Boba Fett. He's so great. So then when I'm watching the movie... So I knew who Boba Fett was before ahead of time, because I'm a skinny nerd and I know things even if I haven't watched Star Wars before. So then I was like, okay, that's Boba Fett. Okay, he's going to do something crazy, and he doesn't do a single thing. He takes Han Solo's freaking cryogenic thing and gives it to Darth Vader. That's it. That's literally it. And then he dies in Return of the Jedi right away, and he screams like a pansy on the way down.
Back again to what I was saying earlier. It was the fact that there's barely any world building in the original trilogy. You have these characters that we know nothing about, but we absolutely love for no reason.
But that's what you got to look at. Then now you're like, okay, well, you got to read the comics. Oh, in the video game, Boba Fett's really cool, and he does this, and he actually survived that. The movies, the all that fandom, all those comics, all these games, all that stuff starts from the movies.
Yes.
The movies, if you look at the movies, they're kind of bad. You shouldn't have to look at other things.
No, I agree with that.
The movies.
Yeah. So, I mean, the movies offhand should be make the premise of what the whole entire world's going to be. But at the same time, we shouldn't rely on other outside sources such as comics, video games, or other TV shows to help the movies out. The comics, movies, TV shows are there just to supplement how bad it actually was.
Yes, it's gotta make like the Clone War. A lot of people say that the Clone Wars was kind of redeems the prequels.
Kind of.
Yeah, but then obviously Revenge of the Sith is
obviously one of the best.
It's really good, but again, if you look back at it, it's just there's certain parts that are just like I don't know.
Such as
like the whole like why is Chewbacca there? Like that's one thing.
Chewbacca is just another character thrown in there. Like
they need to stop that. Not everybody needs to know. That's one thing that always annoys me. Not everyone needs to know someone. Like you don't have to have Yoda meet Chewbacca for Chewbacca to actually mean something like later on.
It's true. I mean, we've seen Solo in the next movie or next two movies.
Yeah, well, what
depends. Do you mean? Like Rogue One, Solo, the way they came out.
Well, you don't see Chewbacca in Rogue One.
No, you don't. I'm saying you've seen Solo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and then okay. Well, I mean, and then don't even get me started on the sequels.
The sequels are just absolute garbage. Like when we heard that Disney bought Lucasfilms, like, oh, cool. But I'm also kind of skeptical because it's Disney, and Disney just goes around and buys stuff and makes their own version of it. And we're all excited about what was it called, The Force Awakens. We have all these trailers, we're all hyped, we're all buying tickets early and everything like that. We get there. It's not that bad a movie, but it's just not that good at the same time.
Well, you see, I didn't get to experience any of that because I wasn't a fan of Star Wars.
I get that, but
then I think I was at
you were
training.
In basic, yeah,
because that's 2015, right?
Possibly. You were not home yet. The only time you came home was when you.
I think I had just left for that because we had just graduated high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from my point of view, it was something very hyped. Like, me and my group of friends were just like, oh, cool, Lucasfilm bought it, let's go watch this movie. And then, like, the hype trains is leading up to it. You have something like, there's been an awakening in the Force from Snoke. And you're like, oh, shit, cool. And then you see new characters such as Rey, and then Poe, and Finn, and you're thinking it's gonna be something great. You have new characters, you have a new storyline. Maybe they're doing something more with it, but then you get there like, all right, we have this Hitler guy talking about another Death Star over here, and then
they make that his I forgot what General Hawks or whatever his name is. They make his character all garbage by the end of the.
Well, that's what they do with anything in general. I mean, you have these fandoms and you have these like characters that they build up, like Captain Phasma. Like everyone was so excited about Captain Phasma, and then in one of the interviews before that one garbage movie, The Last Jedi,
The Last Jedi, yeah.
They're like, oh, Captain Phasma is going to play an important role in this next movie. And then what she does, she is there for 2 minutes of screen time at the most.
Yeah, the only thing that came out of Finn's story arc there was his fight with Captain Phasma, which was
so that was a great storyline that was absolutely not needed at all. And then you're over here just like leaving more plot holes, like the little kid again. What the fuck's with the little kid?
Okay, yeah, they never even got brought up.
They didn't even show that at all.
This whole what's his name? Ryan Johnson and freaking J.J. Abrams fiasco. Well, let's not get really into that. But the point is, the original trilogy, you got Empire Strikes Back. People like A New Hope, obviously, because this is the original, but you got to look at it from, again, not nostalgic. That's the point. The non-nostalgic classes.
Yeah, I get that.
Then Return of the Jedi, I think I assume people have issues with it, but I don't know if they do. People have
issues with it. I mean, the third movie is always like one of the movies you're like more skeptical about. I mean, you have this New Hope. So you have this great movie, and then you build it up, and you have a better movie, which is Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And then you go to Return of the Jedi, and it's not bad, but it does not live up to the other predecessors.
Exactly. So the original trilogy is mixed. It's pretty good mixed. The prequel trilogy is mainly bad, except for Revenge of the Sith. And the sequel trilogy is, I mean, it's pretty to look at, but it's pretty bad.
Oh, definitely.
And then you got like the whole Skywalker saga, and then the whole thing that all this extra stuff is built off the whole fandom and everything. And to be fair, the core thing of it is not that great. But I mean, even now, like it's not even nostalgia, but I love Star Wars.
It's a great franchise and a great thing. It's something that's fantastic. Like even growing up, even to this day, I mean, I'm looking forward for the Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga. And that's because mainly back in the day, I mean, I used to play that guy like no tomorrow. Just the whole
EA
trilogy.
Make that?
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. EA.
EA.
EA and Star Wars. Apparently, Battlefront 2 is good now, but like still...
after what, like bunch of bug fixes.
One of the EA reps said, what did they say? They said about the loot boxes. We want to give our players the.
No, I remember when I was working at GameStop when they came out. Everyone was so pissed. The whole community that bought it, people were returning it for how bad that game was and how much it was pay to play.
Wait, can people even return that stuff?
Yeah,
really?
But they can't get it. GameStop's policy was brand new. It's trade-in only.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah. So that made them even more mad.
Yeah, because then you're just giving them like what, $20 or something for like a brand new game that came out like last week. So, well, that's why you never pre-order a game, no matter what it is. You shouldn't okay, why should you?
Well, it depends on what you want to get. Now, if you're a giant fan of a franchise, take The Last of Us Part 2. That's going to be
if you want to get some collector's edition and stuff.
Huh?
If you want to get the collector's edition.
So I mean, pre-ordering games for the game itself, it's risky. But if you want to get stuff,
there's not even any point to it.
To what?
To pre-order a game now, you can easily just get it. Like, let's say, like when we couldn't find Animal Crossing, we were trying to find Animal Crossing for like 2 weeks, but we couldn't. But we honestly, if we really, really wanted it, because we were on the fence about it, we could just download it off the digital store. Yeah, you want the physical copy, but at the same time, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And also, like, when do video games really sell out? It's just very rare cases like that. Animal Crossing,
God of War,
and God of War sold out.
God of War sold out. When I was writing GameStop, we had to go and ask every other GameStop in the district to send us more, because we ran out of pre-orders, we ran out of games. We kept getting shipments on a weekly basis or daily basis in general because God of War was such a popular game.
Oh, okay. Actually, can we talk about that? The whole PlayStation, the people going from the Xbox 360 to the PS4. I think that's one of the reasons why it's sold out. Actually, this is my theory as to why God of War sold out. I didn't even know that happened, but now that you say that, it's because you know how like when the 360 and the PS3 were out, pretty much everybody from what we knew had an Xbox 360 when we were like in school.
Everyone had.
Nobody really had a PS3, so nobody really played God of War beforehand. Or, I mean, The Last of Us came out like on the last year for the PS3, and now I think more people played it on the PS4 that they didn't even originally come out for.
More people, in my opinion, have a PlayStation 4 now.
Well, yeah, they transferred over, so I think that's why, because people like don't really know what God of War was beforehand, even though that's like the fourth installment. If you don't even count, that's like the sixth if you don't count the PSP games and stuff. So I mean, you already got the fans, but at the same time, it didn't have that big of a fan base.
Well, because God of War is like a lot of different other games. So God of War was rated M. So I mean, for us in general, we have all our parents weren't all in the whole hype train of like, yes, play rated M games. We have more. Some people like probably me in general. My first rated M game was probably Halo, and I played that all the time. And then, but I got backlash from my parents and so my sisters for buying me that game. And I feel like you take into account for everybody else like that. I mean, most of our friends are Hispanic people growing up. So Hispanic households and stuff like that, and they're more strict parents. And they're like, no, you're not gonna be able to play this game, it's rated M and stuff like that. So you gotta take a look at that. Once we're able to grow up a little more and buy our own games, work our own way, or actually, mature a little more, I feel like parents are more lenient, which is opportunity to buy games such as God of War, Last of Us.
Okay, but when we were playing the Xbox 360, we were playing unrated games anyway.
Call of Duty is a different thing. Call of Duty is just like...
Are you talking about the goriness of God of War? If you're talking about...
I'm talking about, like, if you look at God of War, there's a bunch of sex scenes and stuff like that in there, too, as well.
Not on the new one.
Not a new one, but back in the day there were.
Yeah, on, like, for example, God of War 3, there was, like, a sex scene.
Yeah. So
it was more gory, like, he punched up beside his eyes, like, over Martell style.
And right now, every M games are completely different. They're gory, but they're language-based, but they're not like what God of War 3, 2, and 1 used to be. Those were legitly, like, fighting and, like, oh, look at this guy rip his eye out. And, like, The Witcher Wild Hunt 3, sex scene. The God of War sex scene. I mean, you gotta take a look at that as well.
And in Cyberpunk 2077, apparently you can, like...
Oh, customize generals.
There's
It's all the point is time and era. So right now, it's cool that we're having all this, but back in the day, we couldn't do all that because, we were still growing up. We weren't able to buy all this shit ourselves. We had to go up to our parents and be like, hey, can we get a $6 game? Sure. What's it about? Oh, it's God of War, where you fight people, you kill gods. Especially a religious-based family, too. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, let you kill a god real quick.
Well, I guess my mom didn't really care too much about that. I don't know.
Well, again, it just depends on the household. Yeah. Everyone's different. But, I mean, that's how I see it. Because right now, the only reason I transitioned from PS4 to Xbox was a Batman Arkham Knight edition. I'm a huge Batman fan, that. And so I was like, all right, cool. They have an Arkham Knight edition. It's silver, has a Batman on it. I don't know anything about PS4s. I've always been Xbox forever. My parents bought me an Xbox original. I played all those Xbox original games. And then from there, once I grew up, I saw, Batman PS4 edition. I want it. I'm buying it. And from there, that's when my first exposure to PlayStation other than playing at my cousin's house.
Okay. And then, what was the... Yeah, well, I guess the main topic we were talking about before, like when it kind of dragged on to that, was the pre-order thing? No, it's fine. This is the pre-order
We go on tangents.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we're doing this. But the was the pre-order thing. And then it's funny that you brought up The Last of Us 2. Because, we haven't read the spoilers, but a bunch of people having issues with that who don't even want to buy the game anymore.
Well, because they just keep going back and forth with The Last of Us 2. You have... So, it's supposed to come out February, which I was super hyped about.
No, it's not even that. It's about the story elements, like what's happening in the story that people have an issue about. So that's why people don't like it. I don't know. I didn't read it. I
didn't want to spoil it either because I like the game, and I don't want to, read a spoiler or anything like that.
Yeah, but it's basically like Game of Thrones Season 8, that type of thing. Is what
Game of Thrones Season 8 is absolute trash to begin with.
Okay, Game of Thrones... No, okay. But what I'm saying is that The Last of Us 2, that's how I'm seeing the reception.
No, I get you.
The story completely gets thrown out the window apparently on that, or it's different.
Well, I mean, I feel like no matter what, we're gonna have two different sides in an argument. Like you and I we're gonna play the game, so I'm probably gonna like it, or you're probably gonna like it, and I'm probably like it didn't do it justice, or vice versa. It's just a different point of view from people. People want different things. So you have developers that are making these games, and they're pouring their ideas and creativeness into it, but then they can't please every fan. They can't please every genre that people want to see and feel. So I mean, no matter what happens with that game, people are going to like it and dislike it. Other games, going back to Battlefront, people generally dislike the game because they couldn't even play it because they had to spend more money than they initially had to. Now if The Last of Us is like that, then yeah, they're gonna be pissed off because I mean, microtransactions has been like something controversial since that happened.
Yeah, but I mean, if I were to play The Last of Us 2 and it's like only like 4 hours, but I really enjoyed the 4 hours and I did spend the $60 on it. As long as I enjoyed it, I don't think it'd be that big of a. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like wow.
I mean, like
really,
Resident Evil 3. I beat that guy in. If I wanted to, I could have beat that guy in a day. It was a 4-hour gameplay. I spent $60, beat it the first week, and I'm like, this is absolutely great, but also kind of bad because I expected more from the game. I wanted more. And the only thing they probably give me was resistance. I'm like, does it look like I want to play
That's exactly why you don't pre-order games. You don't pre-order games.
What is it supposed to do? Just buy it and be like, oh, fuck
Find
this.
out that like there's not that much gameplay into it and then play it later on. I mean,
I didn't buy it day one. You know that.
Yeah, but you had pre-ordered.
I did. But I didn't buy it day one. I had pre-ordered, so that way when I decide to buy it, I don't have to spend $60 off the bat. I spend $60 like little by little. So let's say I pre-ordered day one, it got released, put $5, $10 on there, and then later on in the future, put more money. And that way, it doesn't feel like such a big dent in my wallet. But what I'm trying to say is, the game in general, it doesn't matter if I pre-order or not. I knew what I was getting into. I knew it was going to be a 4-hour game, but I was like, this is Resident Evil. I just got into the franchise. It's like you with Star Wars. I barely just got into the franchise, and I really like it. So I'm going to invest more into it and try it out. But then I get to Resident Evil 3, the remake. I liked it, but it just didn't live up.
Okay. I mean, if you're fine with the purchase, I mean...
I wasn't fine with the purchase, but I mean, I can't really rebuttal at this point. Well, I can do trade it in. I can't really go inside the GameStop right now during Corona.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, I don't really trade in any games anymore because I always think of back, oh, I wish I didn't trade that in. When I was a kid, obviously, I didn't have any money, so...
I mean, right now, the only reason I'm not trading in is because of Corona, and then once you finally finish number 2, or the remake, you can play 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, hey man, I have this game, let me go trade it in, so I can basically screw you over at the end and make you pay $60 for your own game.
You still haven't told me why you haven't played Resident Evil 7.
I want to do it by, numbers.
You didn't play Resident Evil 1?
I did not.
So I don't understand what you're trying to get at.
I want to play 2, 3, 4, whenever...
Where's 1 at? That has Jill Valentine. You already played the first... You didn't even play the first game that she stars in.
Yeah.
And Chris Redfield.
Yeah, because it looks ugly. It's an ugly game.
Is that going to get remade?
And second of all, adding to that, I didn't know they did a remake. And I was not going to go around and be like...
Well, it's not a remake like that in that vein. It's more of a remaster.
Okay, so is a remaster or a remake is a remaster to that
one? Well, yes, it does, because the Resident Evil 2 is completely different, the original from that one. So okay, a remaster would be like...
Let me fix my argument then. So, the Resident Evil, the first one, I didn't know about it.
Okay.
Like I said, I just jumped into Resident Evil after the remake, number 2.
Yeah.
So that's when I jumped in. And I've always wanted to play 4. And I tried 4 before the remake of Resident Evil 2. I couldn't do the controllers, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know, I tried to get
they were so confusing, and I'm like, this is great. But every time I couldn't even get past the village, I kept dying because I kept...
How do you stop?
I kept just trying to just turn around, and I don't understand that. I'd rather just have a game where I use my Joy-Cons and I turn around like that, and not Joy-Con and then turn around some other way, like the way the whole entire thing was set up. It was just confusing.
And your thumbsticks?
Same shit.
No, Joy-Cons are like the Nintendo controllers.
Same shit.
Freaking nerd. Anyway, Resident Evil 7's good.
I believe you, and I want to play it. And I get the whole idea is it's not all connected. You don't have to play 4 or 5 or 6 to play 7. It barely connects as it is. But I mean, it's just the way I kind of want to do it.
Yeah. And then, okay, I guess don't pre-order games. I guess that was the main topic for that. But again, okay, so something else that I want to talk about is movies are just too much work. Okay, I mean, this is different from watching Star Wars, but just movies in general, especially ones that aren't a part of a franchise. Actually, I guess the ones that are part of a franchise, like the Star Wars franchise, doesn't count. I'm talking about just a movie, like you're watching this movie.
Yeah, this is.
And that goes on like a trilogy too. You can watch. You can watch anything.
This is a random movie. Like, let's say you're upstairs.
I'm watching The Notebook. Actually, I'm not gonna get into The Notebook. What's a regular movie?
I don't know.
Okay, like I Am Legend. Let's just go with I Am Legend.
How dare you disregard rules?
Okay, what's the main character's name? That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. You can like the movie. Okay, if I'm gonna sit here and watch 1 hour 40 minutes, you're gonna need to learn the character's name, the backstory, all that.
Yeah,
all
but
for it to just be thrown out the window 1 hour 40 minutes because there's no, no sequel about.
There's a good amount of movies that you can watch and like, oh, this is a great movie, such as Good Will Hunting,
Well, I never watched
or anything like that.
I never even watch movies. I don't even watch.
So you don't watch movies. I get that, but I mean, there's movies that are great that build a world, but it leaves a market later on. Good Will Hunting is with I think Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, stuff like that. If I'm not wrong, maybe wrong, but the movie in general is just super good. It's a classic. It's something you look back on, and you probably will want to watch again. Same with any other movie like What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp and Leo. I agree with you. The movies are honestly sometimes too much work. Like the other day, I was like watching Austin Powers. I think it was The Spy Who Shagged Me, and the only reason I clicked on it was because Mike Myers is playing Dr. Evil, and I just found it hilarious that it's kind of compared to Trump, the way he's using his hands, his mouth, and the way he's talking, his facial gestures. It's like, this is hilarious. I want to watch it. And then like an hour in, I'm like, how much time's left in this fucking movie? and then I clicked. It's another hour. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, you're just like, you're done.
Yeah, and then like I finished watching it. I was just like, this is a mistake. I'm not shit talking the movie, but I was just like
you already invested so much time into it.
Yeah, I have to finish it
to see it through.
And I was like, oh, what I do?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I was watching the new the Chris Hemsworth Extraction movie. That's what it's called, Extraction.
Yeah,
right?
Extraction.
And I was like legitimately enjoying it, but at some point I was like, I've been watching this for so long. I don't even know the guy's name. Tyler, I think his name was Tyler. Actually, I remember that only because they made a big deal out of his name. Because then the kids started calling him that. But like at the same time, I was like, this is a very long movie, and that's the only guy's name I know. Chris Hemsworth's the main character.
Wasn't Ovi little one? The little boy?
I don't know. Probably something.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you have. Well, the problem with movies as well is they build this world that you have to learn and understand within a certain period of time. So I mean, it's with anything. The only thing that will probably not make it like that is just remakes of movies, but remakes of movies are generally ass. The only remake that I like is Footloose. Because the first movie, I get it, it's good, but the second movie just does it more justice and isn't so corny or cheesy or bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just and I have the same issue with like shows. But it's like that startup period. You gotta like kind of get into it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
especially for shows like let's look at like if we're trying to get into rewatch Game of Thrones season 1 episode 1 for the very first time and then pretend like you don't know a single thing. They literally throw like 50 characters at you at once. They have like 3 different names for that one character, like Lord Baelish, Peter, and then Littlefinger is the same character, and they used it interchangeably. And you're like, I don't know who they're talking about because they haven't even shown the guy yet to like episode 5.
Now you get that,
and then. But then once you get to know, okay, we're not talking about the ending. But like once you get to know it, then you're like, okay, it's good. That's the thing. You got to get into it. And I feel like I don't know if I just start a new show, even if I know if it's good, like I'm like, I got to sit here and watch this random.
I get that. So like, let's take you and I for example. Yesterday we were watching Avatar because I've seen Avatar before. I used to watch it with my cousins or myself. But and to me, it's a good franchise or a good show. And I went to go see the terrible adaptation of the movie.
Gosh, I never watched that. I've heard about it though.
Yeah, that's something else. But the point is, I mean, we tried to get into it, and the first episode felt like an hour to us. Like it was like it had 3 different plot points in just one episode, and then you gotta learn the other characters' names.
Oh yeah,
you have Grandma, Aang, Korra.
I guess that goes into the nostalgia thing too. Like, I mean, I'm an adult. The thing is made for kids. We're adults. The thing is made for kids. I know it's got the deep meaning and everything.
It just really depends on you look at it. I mean, it has deep meaning, but I mean, anything be made for kids. I mean, Star Wars can be technically made for kids. You have kids' toys, and then we're over here complaining about it like
My Heroes
a couple minutes ago.
I guess not really. I don't know.
I mean, My Heroes is an anime in general. Anime is a whole completely different topic.
I don't know. I just didn't enjoy the first episode.
Of what?
Of The Last Airbender. But whenever it was on Nickelodeon, I would watch the episode. It would be out of order that I would watch it.
Well, that's just going back to what you're saying. It's just getting into it. Like, for me, everybody's like, hey, you should watch Parks and Recs. And they're like, oh, skip the first season. The second season's even better. And like, so what I'm going to do...
They told people of The Office.
Yeah, so what you want me to do is skip a whole couple episodes just so we can get good.
Yeah, and then like they were talking as like they'll bring stuff up from the first season. Like people kept telling me about The Office. If I didn't watch, like skip to episode one, season one, it's only like 6 episodes or something. But still, like season 2 kicks off right away because in the first episode you see about Pam and Roy, and like I wouldn't even understand what that's going on if you're just watching the second episode or the second scene.
Yeah, so I mean, it's as shitty as an episode or series is or good. You have to watch the first season.
Give it a chance. Give it more than just one episode, which is what kind of upsets me when people are just like, "Oh, this show is bad," but like you don't even understand what's going on. You gotta. I mean, but if you just don't want to watch it, just don't watch it. But don't say it's bad when you didn't even really give it a shot. And just watching one episode is not really giving it a shot.
It's the same thing for a lot of things. I mean, I tried watching it, and I'm like, the only reason I honestly watched Parks and Rec was because Aubrey Plaza was in it, and she's just amazing to me.
I don't know who that is. Who's that?
What's her name? April, I think, in the show. Aubrey Plaza. She was in Chucky.
Is she the main girl?
No, yeah, she's the mean girl.
Okay,
the one with this like stale face.
Is she blonde?
No, dark hair. I can pull up a picture real quick. I mean, that's why I got into it. I mean, that's why I get into most.
Actually, before you get rid of that, can you explain this?
Oh, this is Kermit. He's a Dalek.
That's not Kermit. Oh, that is Kermit. For some reason, I thought that was the Toy Story thing.
No, that's Kermit the Frog. And I just at what convention was this at?
The skinny nerd goes to conventions. So nerd.
Ace got canceled this year. I'm in tears along with my group. But no, this is Kermit Dalek. He was I think people made a bunch of like different robots. And there's R2D2, C3POs, Daleks.
The Robotics Club.
Yeah, there was a whole like section of that, and it was really cool. I wish I had another picture of all the C2E2 stuff and the R2D2s and stuff like that, because there was a whole line of them. There was like the whole surrounding it, probably this whole room could be filled with them. But yeah, this is Kermit the Frog is a Dalek, and he goes exterminate.
Where was this at again? Where was
C2E2?
C2B2. Is it like a play on the R2D2?
No, I don't know.
No, you're so sure, and then you're like, wait, I don't know.
It's a comic book and entertainment convention.
And where is it at?
I think this one is in. It's either in.
What, the one you went to?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the place it's called. It's in Chicago.
Oh, it's in Chicago. Okay.
What's the McCormick Place?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you brought up The Last Airbender before the movie. I have a live action movie that I really hate. Can you tell me what's, because I haven't seen it.
I mean, I watched this when it came out so many years ago with my cousins. Me and my cousins went to visit
when it came out. Keep talking.
My other cousins in Indiana, and so as a pastime, we all love the Airbenders because most of my cousins are giant nerds and geeks. My oldest cousins are bigger nerds and geeks than part of us in general. And they're like, oh, you want to go see Avatar: Last Airbender? To me and my other cousins. And we're like, yeah, let's go. So we go there. And to me, I didn't really nitpick it that much because I was probably... When did it come out?
I'm still searching it.
Okay. So it came out probably like early 10?
2010.
Oh, 2010. So I was probably, 14?
That was 10
13?
years ago now.
So yeah, 14, 13. So I wasn't really looking into the whole, like, genre of it and, like, everything in there. I was like, oh, cool. I finally get to see Aang, Korra, and whatever the brother's name is in live action. And I thought it was great, but then at the same time, I also thought it was kind of trash. Because, like, it's not that good. The story's kind of bad. I honestly, I can't nitpick it that much right now. I have to rewatch it in order to nitpick it. Because I don't remember it that much. And if you don't remember a movie that much, it's not memorable and it's not good.
The internet just hates that movie. I know that. Even though I've never seen it before, I know that.
Like I was saying, if you can nitpick or remember a movie, it's a good movie. Or a bad movie. But I mean, it wasn't good or bad because I mean, it was just not what I expected or wanted. I don't remember anything about that. Nothing about that movie is memorable whatsoever. Probably all I can remember was Aang fighting for like 2 seconds and a fish. If a fish is even in there. I could be thinking of the whole entire show to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't even have an idea. The movie I was thinking of was Dragon Ball Evolution. The live
before you go into that, I saw a what's it called? A little clip, and I don't know what it was, but part of me felt like it was Dragon Ball. It was some guy saying, "I'm not going to fight I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not allowed to. Is that the movie?
Wait, were they high school students?
Yeah,
And
high school students.
They call him Geeko?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
around a yellow car, and he got his motorcycle run over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So it was like a scooter, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, he's going to Chi-Chi's house.
Yeah.
Chi-Chi is his wife in the manga / anime. And because Goku, like, if also I watched clips on the original Dragon Ball because I haven't seen it in forever, and I saw it on YouTube. Goku uses the flying Nimbus, that little flying cloud, because he's literally pure of heart. And then they make it a thing where, like, Goku only wants to fight. That's the only thing. The only reason he's married and has kids is because his wife wanted. Like, there's a scene where, like, oh, you're gonna need to marry me now, and Goku doesn't even know what that means, and he's like, okay, sure. He doesn't even know if she's a girl, I don't think, because he always has to, like, kick them to see if they're a girl, and then later on they get married because she finds him and whatever. But, like, wait, hold on. But in the live adaptation of the movie, you can tell me afterwards. Live adaptation of the movie, he's like a horny teenager. Like, he wants to get this girl, which has nothing. That is definitely not Goku's character at all. And then he has the name Goku. Master Roshi is known for being, like, a super pervert. That's, like, his entire character, and he's, like, a big martial artist. And, like, they throw, like, a couple magazines to, like, pay homage to the character. But other than that, that's just it. And then, oh my gosh, Piccolo, and then
they do that with a lot of movies, though. They do that with not just Dragon Ball, but in general. Like, even probably the most closer example I can do to this day is the garbage adaptation of Justice League from, what's his name, Joss Whedon. When the reshoots from Zack Snyder left.
Well, I never watched that either.
Don't watch it. Luckily for you, the Snyder Cut's coming on.
I'm not paying for HBO Max.
I'm paying for HBO Max. Don't worry about it. So the problem that I had with that movie was they made Batman such a joke. And that's what they do with a lot of movies. They take their own adaptation of characters, which sometimes is fine. Like Christopher Nolan's Batman. It's not spot on, but he did a great world building with that. And in general, and like you're saying with your movie, they over here just flipping over the characters and not even doing what we're supposed to do with the characters. They're making Master Roshi some non-pervert guy. You're throwing nods at it, and then making Geku, or his name is
Goku. They call him Geeko.
Geeko.
I think it was Geeko.
Some horny teenager. This is probably because of me. Like, oh, let's screw up the character a little bit more, and let's make him a high school teenager that's wants sex all the time. And it's like, you know what?
Okay, he's not a sex deranged guy. I'm just saying that he shouldn't be going after, like, a girl.
Like in the show, he's not going after her, right? But in the movie, he's just like...
That's like the whole plot of the movie, yeah, mostly.
So they really threw out the whole character in general from the mango. The
mango.
But they threw away the whole character in general just to make a movie that later on was just absolutely made a joke from everybody who watched it. It's like, cool, they're finally doing a live action movie of something I absolutely love.
Okay, but the thing about the Batman and the Justice League, though, I haven't seen the Justice League, but I know it's the same Batman from Batman vs Superman. He still has the same, like, origin story.
Yeah, he has the same origin story, but that's what any Batman.
Yeah, but with this Dragon Ball one, it's not like that. I don't even think they showed him, like, flying in from freaking Planet Vegeta and all that.
Yeah,
like,
they just made him probably a regular teenager that was probably born here on Earth, and like, oh, this is Geku.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess it was just trying to appeal to a mass audience, like, people that don't even know who Dragon Ball is. Oh, I've heard that name probably before. Let me watch this. Oh, it's a cool movie. Like,
they were probably just trying to say, hey, let's screw the fans. Let's try to get more people to hop on this train and make more money out of it. But in reality, it's nothing good. Because who's going to go see the movie? The fans.
Oh, so that's another thing that I brought up. Or not that I brought up. That you got to do it right by the fans because... and an example of this, I don't know if it's true. I saw it on Reddit. I think it's true.
What?
Where it said that CD Projekt Red, which is the developers and publishers behind The Witcher 3 and they're making Cyberpunk and all that... They also have, like, a Steam type of store, Good Old Games, or GOG.
Here, let me hold you the thought real quick. I need to take a piss.
What, the CD Projekt Red is... Yeah, I guess this is from... Game... I don't even know what that is. Okay, whatever. The CD Projekt Red is the most... is now the biggest video game company in Europe, which Ubisoft is from Europe.
Yeah.
Which means that CD Projekt Red, which is only has, has the Witcher series that comes with like the Gwent card game and that other one, and they're making Cyberpunk 2077, which hasn't even been released yet, is bigger than Ubisoft. Ubisoft has like Just Dance, Assassin's Creed. It has all that big stuff.
Yeah, but
like CD Projekt Red, that when you were talking about like you got to do right by the fans, you got to do right by the fans. Literally, CD Projekt Red doesn't have any microtransactions. They don't try to nickel and dime, and then their platform is like the Steam type of thing that I say that have. The big thing about that is that it's DRM free. DRM like. Remember EA's games where like before, like on the 360 type of era, like where you bought the game, you had to get the online pass, and that's how they got you to get the new games, stuff like that. Or like if you buy it off, you can't play it off not the City Skylines, whatever the Sim City, whatever it was. You couldn't even play that game offline. That was a big thing. All these companies try to nickel and dime and all this other stuff and all this other stuff. But that also, I don't think CD Projekt Red is a publicly traded company, so maybe that's it because they're trying to like do good for investors. But now that CD Projekt Red is doing better than Ubisoft, a giant. Ubisoft's a giant. Just shows that like they did right by the fans. So now they're on top.
And that's what you gotta do. I mean, with anything, if you're gonna make a movie, make a show, or an adaptation of anything at all, whereas a game, comic, I think the fan base comes first. If you're over here making your own take on it, you're risking it. Now, I'm not saying do like
don't do exact
same, but also, like don't destroy their origin story. Don't destroy
the essence of what the characters and stuff is.
Yeah. Like with Goku, same thing. But they were over here, like you said, they did all this randomness, and they didn't even show him flying in, if you remember the movie right. And then, in my point of view, they made Batman a joke. He's over here like gets thrown by Superman saying, "Do you bleed?" Superman says that, and he throws him. And then later on, in the next scene, it's like, yeah, something's bleeding. And I'm like,
wait, that happened in the Justice League?
Yeah, Batman. So the scene was, I think Superman's like, "You couldn't just let me die, or let me like rest in peace," something in that nature. And then Batman's over here explaining something, and Superman's just like in this angry mode. And then he goes, "Now tell me, Batman, do you bleed?" And he's over here like choking him, I think. And he just like chucks him to like off to the side, and then he says,
"Oh, is it when he gets to the freaking police officer, the cop car?"
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I saw that on YouTube, and like the dialogue is terrible, and it ruins the characters, and also just the shot of the thing looked bad. I remember
there was such bad reshoots, and whoever ideas that was an absolute.
And then the mustache.
Yeah, that CGI was absolute trash. I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but it was just not needed. I went to see the movie twice, and the second time, it just made it worse. And I was super excited for the movie. It's like, finally, I have my childhood dream of having all these, like, characters all together. Because Avengers was great. Avengers was a great franchise and a bunch of great movies. Oh, like Captain America. But then you have, like, this Justice League that I've been waiting for, and then it's just thrown out the window.
Captain America's good.
By this, whatever his name is. I don't even know how to say his name right. Is it Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon.
Yeah. And then these reshoots, they threw out so many scenes. They make Steppenwolf like this, and then in the end of it, then he was so garbage as well. So you have these powerful people, like Wonder Woman, probably almost the same power level as Superman. Not exact same, but still strong enough. And like, Superman comes out of nowhere after the fight, he just says, "Fuck it," and will demolish Steppenwolf in like 3 moves. He beats the crap out of him easily. It's like me fighting a bug. Like, there's a chance a bug could win if he literally surprise attacks me, but it's just like, it's pointless to fight it because he's just destroying every move he has, and it just throws away and makes Superman super powerful, and the whole entire storyline just irrelevant because all he had to do was Superman had to be convinced earlier, and Steppenwolf would have been like pointless. He would have just been destroyed in the first scene.
Yeah, but Superman's a fan of justice, or whatever he says at the end.
Yeah,
I'm just, when Zack Snyder's cut comes out, I'm just gonna say maybe it's a little bit better. Maybe it is a good amount better, but it's still gonna be bad. I think it's still gonna be bad. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't even know. I think that might be next year.
It's 2021.
We still got a while for that. I think it's still gonna be bad, but whatever.
I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be the best thing in the world, but I'm saying it's gonna do the characters justice. It's gonna do the whole entire movie a little better.
Maybe.
If he adds,
I mean, it's still the same movie, Josh.
It is the same movie, but so what they did too is they cut out scenes to add to the world of like people like Cyborg had his scenes cut out. They hired think
Still looks like a CGI monster.
it's with anything.
Not anything.
Most movies now are just superhero movies are just CGI.
Yeah, but does it really have to look that bad?
No.
Exactly. Like Thanos is CGI for the most part. He looks great.
I agree.
Cyborg does not look great.
No, he does not.
So I don't think that, I mean,
I'm
I'm sure it's gonna be
not
better.
saying
We'll
the
see.
CGI is a big part of it. I'm just saying the whole story is what kind of makes a movie or anything. And like if you have a little world building and a little knowing the characters, it just makes the movie a little worse. They cast Iris West in that movie for Barry Allen. And it's his love interest. So his love interest in like the comics and movies and shows is her name's Iris West.
Yeah.
And like they shot scenes with her, they did all this stuff with her, and then when production came or the final movie came, nothing about her. Her character and her actress was just like thrown to the side.
Well, was she even in the movie? Like,
Yeah, she was in the movie.
Oh, but barely.
Yeah, she had scenes in there, but it wasn't like premised around them. But she had scenes that could have helped build the character of Flash and Barry Allen.
I get you. I can see why like people would get excited. Oh, she's in the movie.
Yeah, and it's
then,
like
it doesn't happen.
same thing with Suicide Squad. So you have all these scenes you have in the trailers, and then the movie comes and you're like, all the scenes that was decided from in the trailers are not even in the movie. It's like a clickbait type of scheme for movies.
Yeah. But let's not get into it. we can do a whole freaking like podcast probably around the freaking whole DCEU. So
I agree, but
so we can talk about how you only play one game and that's Dead by Daylight. Like that's literally the only game you ever play.
that's not true.
Okay, you took a break for Resident Evil 3, which you were kind of reluctant on because you still wanted to play Dead by Daylight.
Well, I mean, I was still playing. I mean, it's with any game. I mean, the problem I have with some games is just they're so repetitive. I'm not saying that Dead by Daylight is not repetitive, because it is. Fix the gen, get chased by a killer, a little anxiety here and there, and you're done. But I mean, I look at other games, like, I want to play other games, don't get me wrong, but they just don't grab my attention. The only games that grab my attention nowadays are probably like console games and other games that come out new. Last of Us 2, interested in. I'm going to be play that for a week and probably be done with, not going to lie. Because I mean, what's after that?
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then Cyberpunk 27, they probably had DLC and stuff like that. God of War thing.
Are you going to play Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
Because you didn't play The Witcher 3.
I'm still playing that.
You're still playing that.
Yeah.
You're not going to play it.
I'm going to play it eventually.
No, you're not. I can tell you right now.
I'll play it. It's just I need to get into it.
You didn't like Resident Evil 4. Maybe. I don't.
I
can see myself playing that again. I don't know if that was another
Resident Evil 4
nostalgia thing.
was the controllers for me. If the controllers weren't so weird and off-putting, I probably would have played it more. And I also, again, I got into Resident Evil, in my opinion, too late.
Yeah,
So-
Resident Evil is one of the classics.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
If
yeah,
I-
even I got into it because I started with 4.
Yeah. So I mean, like, but you started with 4 how many years ago? Like when it came out?
No,
or-
actually, it wasn't. I don't remember when it was. It wasn't when it came out, but it was probably at least like 2 years after it came out.
So I mean, still, I mean, you have a little more like background than I did. I saw the game. I saw people play it.
Yeah, I played Resident Evil 4 way before Resident Evil 2 came out. If you started with that, then yeah.
Yes, I mean, that's why I play other games. Like, I mean, before you worked at GameStop, I was that basic Chad.
Oh yeah, he
gamer.
was. Yeah, Chad, Call of Duty and
That
NBA 2K.
And
That's
maybe
it.
maybe was a man here and there because sports.
Then he went to worked at GameStop and they were making fun of him, rightfully so.
I mean, they didn't make fun of me to my like that. They were just like, oh, look at these. We had the pre-orders come out for 2K and like Call of Duty, and they're like, someone was saying, oh, I'm a big gamer or stuff like that, and it was one of those guys who pre-order every year. It's like this guy comes in and the only thing he pre-orders is sports games and Call of Duty, and he calls himself a gamer.
I mean, then that goes into gatekeeping. I mean, if he's happy, then.
It's not
but
really
at the same time, yeah,
gatekeeping,
you're.
but it's just like
I don't know. Yeah, I get what
it
you're
depends.
saying.
If you're a gamer, like, don't get me wrong, 2K sports games and all that stuff can be giant esports tournaments, and they're interesting and they're fun to play. But I'm pretty sure people who play those games for esports stuff like that, they have a wide variety of stuff they play as well. It's not just
No, I 100% agree with you. I do not like people that just. That's why I mean I was making fun of you when you told me that. Like when you were.
I made fun of myself. Like, I wasn't over here saying like, "Oh, I'm a gamer" and stuff like that. I mean, I probably said that to mess with myself and you. Like, oh, I'm a gamer. I play 2K20 every year or 2K18, and I do my career, and I'm so great, man. And I do all these microtransactions, and I'm like 99 overall, which I never receive.
Speaking of 2K, yesterday I was on my Discord with my with the randos that I talked to, and like they were one of them linked the I don't know what the story mode's called. I think it's the story mode.
It's
I don't
called
know.
My Career.
It was My Career. I guess they got like some of the NBA players, some of the NBA athletes to like voice act, and it was literally like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's what they do. They have so in a couple games before they would have like LeBron James, a big name. He voice acted one time, and they get big characters like I'm gonna butcher his name, Idris
Big
Elba.
players,
No, like also characters like actors.
like voice actors.
No, like actors in general.
Oh, like legit actors.
Yeah, like,
voice actors.
Like you know
actors,
Charles from The Office. You probably know him better. Charles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a big actor in general. He's in the newer version. He's like your coach, mentor type of guy.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, a lot of games are doing that. Call of Duty had
Kevin Spacey?
Kevin Spacey. It had Kit Harington, Jon Snow,
In what?
in Infinite Warfare. I didn't play it, but I know he's in there.
Never played it either. I remember I pre-ordered it.
I know the World War II had I don't know who it was. It's like the Sergeant First Class in that.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of games are doing that now, and that's one thing with My Career. They do big names, big characters, and then with this coronavirus epidemic as well, they have more people like hopping on and playing with them. I think there's one basketball player that streams, and he streams and he plays games and stuff like that. And he's well known in the community. And
I wouldn't know.
I don't know either. I know his name, but I can't remember his name, like who he is at the moment. But he streams and does stuff like that. I mean, he interacts with fans and he's in the games and it's a good community for that base.
And okay, so this started with you only play one game.
Well, I played
but I guess that's just like your main game. I guess I had that with Counter-Strike too at one point.
Yeah, I mean, how many hours do you have in Counter-Strike?
710, I think, at this point.
I only have 400.
But that's over since like 2014. I don't know, some people like that's like chump change.
Yeah, that's true.
Since like 6 years ago.
Greg has a 2-year head start on me. Greg's my cousin. Has a 2-year head start on me on Dead by Daylight, and I have more hours than him.
I can see that. Okay, we should probably just stop this.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll stop it. We'll just say our goodbyes.
Here. Okay, so this was the very first episode of Skinny Nerd Developers. We're just supposed to be doing this weekly. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it.
We'll be doing it weekly around here with new topics and stuff like that. We do get off on tangents and stuff like that. If you guys want to comment,
we'll try to be more on topic next time.
Yeah,
this is just like the first time. We're just gonna upload this and
experiment with it, and if you guys like it, you guys like it. If you guys don't, well then let us know.
And by you guys, we hope somebody's listening.
Yeah.
Instead of just the two viewers, that it's us making sure the video went up. Okay, but yeah. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. If you tuned in, and I hope you guys are here next week or anytime at all.
All right. Thank you. Bye.